Welcome back to Jump Scare. I'm Betty.
And I'm Chad.
This week, we're covering Campfire Tales.
From 1997, not to be confused with the 1991 Campfire Tales.
We have to find that Gunnar Hansen movie.
Yeah, I didn't even know that was a thing until I started looking for information on this one. I was like, oh, there's two of them. Never mind.
Who knew? Well, this is one of those films that I loved when I was a teenager, and I can't remember if I rented it or it just happened to be on TV. I think I rented it. I definitely didn't see it at the theater, but...
Oh, yeah, I think this only played in theaters like maybe once or twice over here, and then maybe in Europe a little bit, but it didn't play really in theaters over here.
Now, as Chad said, this film came out in 1997.
It was the heyday of the VHS. Tapes were everywhere you looked. Somebody had a VHS tape for sale. People were talking about this new DVD technology that you can't even record on them. Why would you want something you can't record on? That's stupid. Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Look, man, I never wanted it. I would have just stayed with my VHS.
You would have stayed with Beta if they would have let you.
First of all, I wasn't alive when Beta came out, so I don't know.
Did you mean the superior format?
Nothing about it. So this film has a lot of recognizable faces. It's an anthology, and it is about urban legends.
Yes.
Before Urban Legend came out, which came out the following year. You have Cliff, his girlfriend Lauren, and her little brother Eric, and their friend Alex. They're coming back from a concert, and they are, you've come back from a concert, you're having a good old time. There may or may not be some drinking that was being done at the concert, and they're just telling us tale, which is one of the most popular tales set in the 50s.
And it is
The Hook.
The Hook Hand Killer. He's out there. They even did a variation of this in Night of the Creeps. He didn't have a hook hand, but he was just a murderer out stalking Lover's Lane in Night of the Creeps.
Yes.
They should have just given him a hook in that one. It would have been even funnier too.
It would have, but he was Have we done Night of the Creeps?
Yes, we did a long time ago.
We did. That was probably one of the first ones because it's on my top 50 favorite films. The Hook has Amy Smart and James Marsden. They're the lovers on Lover's Lane. And
this was before he did the X-Men. This was before anything. This was when he was not very well known.
No, he wasn't.
This is one of those things where everyone in this movie is famous later, but right now, no one knows who they are.
And if you do not know what happens at the urban legend, let us tell you. So, a guy and a girl are making out
at Lover's Lane.
And Lover's Lane, because that's always a place. First of all,
or Makeout Point. Where were they?
Or Makeout Point.
I feel like if they call it Makeout Point, you should probably not. I was like in the movies for oh, you took me to Makeout Point and you wanted me to make out with you?
Like what? They're grasping the pearls.
Yeah, they're clutching the pearls. How dare you, sir? Well, it was kind of in the name. That's like going to see the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and being surprised by it. Well, I had no idea this was going to be a gruesome horror film. I thought it was just all about, industrial accidents in Texas.
Industrial accidents in Texas. Please. That's the remake of the movie.
It is. No, that was the damn remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre that I went to see at a midnight show that the woman brought her kids who were all under the age of 7.
Wow.
Now, I get it that the remake is not the same as the original, but it's still a fairly gruesome, horrifying film.
It's a horror film.
At midnight. And I remember there were 2 dudes that looked like they had come out of, some Mad Max movie. They were rough-looking dudes, and they were sitting next to me, and they looked at me and just went, "That's fucked up that you bring kids to this." I'm like, yeah, these guys know. They're going to go murder someone after the movie, and they know it's not right to bring kids to this. Okay.
Now, if you just happen to remember that conversation, you happen to be one of those guys, JK, he's just kidding. He knows that you did not go and kill someone after the movie.
I assume.
Okay. So, The Hook. You have them making out, and of course, on the radio, there's a story.
I always love on the movies and TV shows, whenever they turn the radio on, it's like, this just in, a masked maniac is stalking the county. We now return to 17 uninterrupted hours of jazz music. And
the Yas flute.
Yeah, the Yas flute. They just cut in every little bit to tell the news, and that's it. Now we go back to our program of jazz.
So yeah, there's a maniac on the loose. He just escaped the insane asylum. And, and of course, that's exactly what a young girl who is trying to not be laying it all out there, but also trying to remain some kind of innocence. So it's that, oh no, I can't. And then, the guy's like, well, hey babe, don't you love me? That whole fucking thing. So that's happening. And of course, she's paranoid. She sees something. There's someone in the bushes. There's someone out there. What's going on? Did you hear that? And it's really killing the vibe for the guy, right? He's just like, come on.
Like, come on, let's just do it. We'll worry about the murderer later.
Yeah, for real.
He should have just been, listen, babe, this is only going to take 2.5 minutes. We'll be done long before the killer can get out of the bushes and over here to the car. That should have been his line. It wouldn't have really helped his case, but it would have been funny.
That would have been funny. Very funny. So, like in all things, of course, she's able to, she actually, is she the one that drives off like a maniac?
No. She just insists that he drive off.
And then they do, and they, he ends up at a burger joint.
They stop at, what's his name? Al's Diner from Happy Days.
Yes, and he's ordering his burger, and she's like calling out to him like, do you have to get that now when I go home? And he's like, I'm hungry, babe.
I didn't get laid, so I'm at least going to get a cheeseburger tonight.
I mean,
which
fair.
I think there is an Alan Jackson song about that.
Wow. And dun dun dun, he looks back at the car and what is hanging by the gas tank. The hook.
What's on the back door?
Oh, whatever. It's back there somewhere.
It's hanging on the back passenger door. The hook's hanging off. So in one more second, the hook hand of killer would have had them.
He sure would have, and they would have both died virgins. Well, we're going to assume that the guy was a virgin. The girl was definitely a virgin.
Yeah.
Now that starts off the film.
In black and white.
In black and white, yes.
That's how you know it's the 50s. It's in black and white. Like
I think the saddle shoes, the poodle skirt, her hair up in a high ponytail with the bangs and the scarf tied around the ponytail.
I don't know what bangs are, and I don't intend to learn.
And they're in one of those boat-looking cars, which I love.
The car is about 60 feet long.
I don't know why they had a word the hook was going to get him, because it was a long walk up to the front seat.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's the 1950s when you get in the car, or when you see this footage and it's in black and white. You're in England when they cut to the establishing shot of Big Ben. Because that's the only landmark in London that you need to know. Oh, we're in London now.
Don't ask me what the hell that was. Oh, they show some fog?
Yeah, they show some fog coming in. And, you're in China when you hear the gong. China or Japan, you hear the gong. And then they show the traditional, paper houses. They show that. They're like, oh, you're in Japan.
But it's Nessie, but he's dressed like Jack the Ripper?
Yeah. Yeah. It's, yeah.
He's coming out the fog.
That movie. I had to explain that to someone at work the other day. I showed them the clip of the Bullshit or Not. They were like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. Why is this not on constant rotation? I'm like, yeah, you'd think it would be.
We will cover Amazon Woman
on the moon.
On the moon.
Just for that segment.
At a later date. Now, we go to the kids, coming back from the concert. They get into an accident. The car just swerves off the road, and they end up in some broken down church.
Some sort of ancient ruin of some sort.
Yeah, ancient ruin, medieval church that has the stained glass, but it's just stone and archways, and there's a fire. And
A campfire.
A campfire. And while we are waiting for the cops to show up, because there's obviously no cell phones, there's no one to help them, they're stranded. The car, it's in a ditch, so they can't do anything about it. They're just waiting there. It's nighttime, wherever they're at. It's cold.
Yep. They're up in the mountains somewhere, by the look of it. They're in the hills, mountains, something. Yeah.
So they decide that they're going to continue telling and see if they're able to one-up one another with the Campfire Tales. Yep. Now, I feel like whoever, the writers of this, I don't know, at this time frame, Are You Afraid of the Dark was very big. Like, I feel like this was like, once it already had established like a following, and like later on, obviously, like Neve Campbell is in one of the episodes, like during this time frame, who we don't even know who that is. It's like before she got to Scream. And
she was in that Party of Five show, and everybody knew she was from that.
Yeah, from Party of Five, but I'm saying like
she wasn't a horror person yet.
From Are You Afraid of the Dark to Party of Five to Scream. I wasn't gonna go through the whole thing, but I get what you're saying. For me, it's. I did watch Party of Five, though. I have to say, Charlie and the fucking thing. The whole. I did see that. But Jennifer Love Hewitt's also in there. My goodness, let me just tell you, the '90s TV shows, like all these people went on to make movies, and were, I want to say, the Rat Pack of their time, I guess, in a way.
Yeah, kind of. The Brat Pack?
The Brat Pack, yes. Did I say the Rat Pack? The Rat Pack, too. All of them. Recognizable people.
Recognizable, attractive actors. The Rat Pack.
Boom! Next segment. The honeymoon. We have Valerie and Ricky?
Rick.
Rick.
Who is played by...
Roy Livingston?
Ron Livingston. And you'll know him as from Office Space, the main guy from Office Space.
Oh, yeah, he's the main guy from Office Space. But, ladies, he's Burger. Mr. Fucking, I'm going to break up with you with a Post-it note.
Okay? From Sex and the City.
How dare you? Yes, from Sex and the City. I was gonna get that.
His greatest performance ever was Office Space. He's never going to top that. You've been missing a lot of work lately? Well, I wouldn't say I've been missing it.
Oh, my goodness. The honeymoon. Now, this is one of these tales that also, obviously they're all urban legends, but very annoying to me. Like, I want to slap everyone involved. This is actually the sexiest tale of them all.
They were like, we're like 10 minutes in and we need to hook some people so they don't return this tape. We need to get some boobs in it right now.
We need to get boobs, and we need to... Hey, these people are on a honeymoon. They got a trailer. They're gonna be a fucking, okay? Like,
yep.
They had sex at least. Even after, they're like, oh, wait, there might be some danger out there. Nothing makes you hornier than danger. And they have sex like 2 more times. They have like sex like 4 times. And I have to say, softcore porn in all kinds of positions. They were not holding back. It was not just missionary. It was all types. Which, what you don't expect, I feel like, in this movie. Like, it's like, oh, okay, this is happening. It's giving like Tales from the Crypt, like HBO, like sex. Yeah. Right? But just a little bit more.
Yeah, a little bit more.
Maybe a little Skinemax.
Longer, because there was no rating involved in this, I'm sure.
Yeah, no rating.
And this one, we're going to discover pretty quickly, is the tale of being lost in the woods, and eventually they get lost because they make a bunch of stupid decisions.
They do. And when someone comes up, okay, and warns you, like, hey, like just random like person just came out of the fucking shadows and tells them like the most extraordinary tale they've ever heard. And they're like, nah, we're not going to listen to that man. He crazy.
Also, when the guy looks like he is in a horror movie.
That's not fair.
I'm sorry. This is like if Michael Berryman popped out of the fucking darkness and was like, you should not go this way, my friend. Bad things will happen to you if you do. I'm going to tell you right now, if somebody looking like Michael Berryman pops out of the trees and tells me not to go that way, I'm not fucking going that way, okay? Because he knows what's up, okay? He's been down that road and he has seen things and it's changed him as a human being. So when this guy comes out of the shadows looking all creepy, telling you not to go that way, don't go that way, guys.
You're in Nevada, by the way.
Okay.
So that should already be like...
a warning to you.
Warning. Do not get out of the car. Especially after you've been warned that there's some creatures or some kind of crazy shit.
Creature, hill people are out there.
No, I'm not about the hill people. I'm going to tell you right now. There's been tons of movies about hill people. I've hated all of them. I don't want to know about these hill people. You live your hill people life. Live your best life away from me and the hills where you got your own water. You got the animals up there. You don't need to come down, and I ain't coming up. There is going to be no interactions.
Let your wife / sister just keep me out of your business.
Yep, I'm staying clear out of you. I'm respecting your personal space. Respect. You don't even need to respect my personal space because you're not going to see me because I ain't going to go there. Okay? No hill people. These people, on the other hand, were like, let me just park in the middle of the road. Like, the parking situation for the RV, I did not understand because it looked like they were blocking.
Yeah, they just stopped in the middle of the road and then started having sex in the RV. And you know... nothing pisses off a bunch of crazy hill people murderers like blocking their road and then having sex in their road.
And they're smelling it and they're smelling the sex. Maybe they've never had sex. Maybe that's all they like to do. They got nothing but time in their hands.
Look at this woman. She has got 2 arms, 2 legs, and she does not look like my sister. So we definitely need to get in there and get this woman.
Yeah, no. No. They needed to not be in the middle of the road having sex all over the place with the pheromones and the juices.
So, of course, they find out they're out of gas, and he decides to go walking alone to get the gas, and then he'll be back in a little while. There's a station just a few miles down the road. It's not a problem. Spoiler alert, he does not make it to the station.
Now, why? Why? I mean, I guess maybe he didn't bring, like, a word puzzle with him. He already had sex with his wife like at least 3 times, or I think 4 times by the time he left, because when he came, there was no coming back. So he had done all the sex and all the positions. So I guess maybe he just wanted to stretch his legs out. Why couldn't he wait until it was morning time? Like, why? Even the guy told them, if you need, don't leave the RV. If you hear something weird outside, stay inside. But I feel like either way, they were going to come in there. They were going to come in even if they did. A little bit. Well, with the whole, like, they're trying to get in.
Yeah, but they didn't, like, tear the door off and come in.
That's true.
So he goes off, disappears, and then a little while later, the hill people start trying to come into the RV. She kind of fights them all off, and then just huddles down until morning. But all night, she's hearing scratching on the roof, like someone's coming in.
And that's the urban legend.
There's the urban legend part of it, which they did this a little bit in Urban Legends, too.
Yes.
Where the person's hanging from the tree, and their feet or hands are scraping on the top of the car. And that's when the next morning, the sheriff's deputy that picks her up is like, don't look, you don't want to see it. And there's the husband strung up from the tree. Yeah, he's been there all night, like scratching on the, the roof of the RV.
End of honeymoon.
End of honeymoon, yep. And then they cut back to the campfire tale, and they're all like, well, that was fucking creepy. No,
I'm lower. When I meant, well, yes, literally end of honeymoon, because that was the end of that story, but I meant, like, for her, it was the end of her honeymoon.
Yeah.
I don't get, like, she didn't even, I guess there was nothing to do with help her. And then they had, like, one of the many things that upset me. He established a certain way of knocking. Now, I understand when you're being chased by God knows what, we don't know, because they never really show you or go into, they're not going to be there trying to tell you, like, the history of these people or these creatures or their wolves. We don't know. We don't know what they are. They're feral, wild beings. And while you're running away and you're trying to get into, maybe you're not going to remember the specific knock sequence that you made with your wife. But you did tell her that if she didn't hear that specific knock, not to open the door. So he kind of failed in that way. And I don't feel bad for them at all. I was just like,
I feel like the other thing is, if I knock on the door, peek out the window and see if I'm there.
Yes, the window was right there.
Just look and see. You don't need a specific knock. Just don't open the door until I say, hey, Virginia, it's me.
Or why couldn't he? Yeah, why couldn't he be like Valerie, Val, V, something like? Goodness.
It's me. Remember that time when we went to Starbucks and had the weird lattes? That's him. Let him in. I don't know. That just came off the top of my head.
Now, there is a story. The next story that has stayed with me my entire life since I've seen it. And it is the scariest story. And actually, I have never heard about this urban legend. I definitely did hear about it always changes, but the whole end result is that there is a body that's hung somewhere and it's scratching on the hood. So sometimes they like to mix the hook, like the hook one with that. But the hook and the scratching of the hood, those two stories I've heard, and like the other one, like the you get your innards take out and you're like in a tub of ice when you wake up in a hotel room. The
kidney heist.
Yeah, the kidney heist. There's just ones that you just hear over. I've never heard this one.
People swear that kidney heist thing is true because they did a Law and Order episode where someone got their kidney stolen. And on Law and Order, they always do the thing ripped from the headlines. They were always doing the stories where it was like slightly changed. Oh, this is the Amy Fisher story, but her name is Sammy Farsher or something. But it's the same story. So a big part of that, why everybody thinks that kidney heist thing happened, is they did a Law and Order, and everyone just was like, oh, well, obviously they based those all off of true stories, so it must be it.
Now, technically, this story is considered to be the second story, even though we did talk about two, but the Campfire is the wraparound. Yeah. And the hook is while they're still in the car driving, so they hadn't gotten to the campfire, quote unquote, first.
This is the second Campfire tale, technically.
Yes.
And this one, the girl that stars in it, who was about 13 at the time, her name was Alex McKenna. And she would go on to do a lot of things. She'd be in some episodes of that TV show The Following with another actor in this show later on. And she's also the voice of Sadie Adler in Red Dead Redemption 2. So, yeah, she's done some things people would know.
Now, 11-year-old Amanda is online, very new, online chat room.
I'm going to guess this was either AOL or this was Prodigy. Remember Prodigy?
I don't remember Prodigy, but I remember AOL because you had to have the disc to put in, right? Yep. And then you had the little man running, right? He was running.
He was installing everything.
And he made all the weird noises.
There was Prodigy, and that was the modem, yep. Prodigy and CompuServe were the others that were
Oh, yes, CompuServe. I do remember that one.
The Prodigy one was the other one, like the third one. It was like AOL, CompuServe, and then Prodigy.
I only remember the band Prodigy. I don't remember that.
And, yeah. So they had those, but this kind of looked to me like either Prodigy or CompuServe. But of course they were going to like fledge it a little bit, so it's not like AOL, because I'm sure AOL is like, we don't want to be associated with internet sex killers.
Exactly. There's many reasons why this one is creepy, and unfortunately, this out of all the stories is the one that unfortunately remains to still be something that occurs today and is real.
It's the most plausible one of these.
It's more than plausible. It's happened a bajillion times. So before everyone's going out here saying like, "Oh, you've been catfished," this is a kind of a catfish situation where you have a 11-year-old who has an online chatting friend. I thought it was someone that went to school, but they never got into that. So it's just someone else. And the girl that she's talking to is named Jessica. And Jessica and Amanda, the little girl, they're friends. They're always talking about random things, boys, things that girls talk about. And you come to find out this is actually a creeper predator that's living in a fucking basement. Looks like the guy from fucking Twin Peaks, Bob.
Who also, by the way, the guy that plays the internet creeper in this is played by Jonathan Fuller. And just so you know, he played the freak in Castle Freak.
So that should just tell you everything you need to know right there.
So he puts the freak in Internet Freak.
Oh my god. And this is like the night before her 12th birthday. She has a teenage sister who, of course, like in all things, you see it in Labyrinth, you see whatever, oh, you got to take care of your sibling. The parents are going out, you have to stay home, teenager who how dare you have a life and want to hang out with your friends? You have to stay home and take care of your younger sibling. You know, the sister kind of bribes her younger sister, splits the cash that was supposed to be for pizza, and decides that she's going to end up going out with her friends, and they're getting ready while you have Amanda talking to her friend Jessica and then getting ready. She plays soccer in the yard, which there's like a whole creepy soccer scene, and like the soccer gets kicked into the bushes. And while she's trying to find the soccer ball, here you have the predator who's already there because
we're just going to call him the Castle Freak.
Castle Freak. She already told Castle Freak that the parents were going out or whatever.
She was going to be home alone tonight.
Yeah.
Just her and Odin, her dog.
Yes, Odin. Wow. The fact that you came in with the dog's name is like intense. So Odin and Amanda are in the yard, and there's Castle Freak hiding in the bushes, like kind of like hovering his hand like over her hair and her head. It's really disturbing. And she's really tight with this dog. Her and Odin are like best friends. They show you and like kind of like tell you like how tight they are.
Oh, they show all the videos of them and everything. They're super.
Yeah, I feel like there was also to come sound like a montage, maybe. I don't know. They're just trying to tell you like they tight. And she loves her dog. And you know, stupid sibling crap of fighting with your sibling whenever the sister's trying to get ready. The thing that I always thought when I first saw like, oh, the sister's gonna leave, and like, you know, that's gonna be a shitstorm because what is this chick gonna do? Like, she's a kid, you know, and this is like a grown person. But just in case anyone was like, oh no, I can't hear the rest of the story, the sister does stay in the house. She's getting ready with her friend. She doesn't actually exit the home. The predator, Castle Freak, is able to enter the home.
Of course, no one locks their doors because this is not that kind of town. You don't need to lock your doors.
Yes, what the hell? Why are the doors? And this house is massive. It's a huge house. Like,
well, it has to be because no one in a horror movie lives in a 2-bedroom, 1-story house.
That should be over in 2 seconds.
Yeah. Oh, there he is.
Excuse me. How about that other movie that we saw where the guy was hiding in the fucking shadows? When the Stranger Calls Part 2. Yeah. Like, he can't do the camouflage. That movie was crazy.
Yeah, he had a suit that was painted like the walls.
And it's like, how? Well, obviously he was in their home all types of the day, was able to take, you know, his mental pictures or whatever, the fucking watercolor paintings he was doing of the thing. So yeah, he could have done that. Odin goes to see what's up because there's like a noise downstairs or something, and Odin goes to investigate like dogs do. And you hear the classic Halloween, and you know, oh no, the dog is like whimpering. It's not good times for the dog, okay? Not good times. So if you are a animal lover, this is off screen and all you hear is whimpering, so you don't actually see. Do you?
No, you don't really.
No,
see
you
anything.
don't actually see the dog get hurt. However, you know, Amanda's taking a shower. She's ready to go to bed. She goes all cozy in bed, and she puts her hand down to, you know, for Odin to comfort her. And she's
been a little scared during the night because she's heard some things.
Yeah, she's heard some things, and I feel like it's also like raining. Like maybe it's starting to rain, thunder outside or something.
It's creepy out there, so she's gotten a little nervous. But she's all cozy in bed now. She puts her hand down for Odin to lick it, and Odin is just licking away.
Yeah.
And that's when she looks up, and you can see from her bed, you can see the bathroom in the mirror, and she sees Castle Freak under the bed licking her hand, and on the mirror is written,
"People can lick." Too.
Yeah.
No, bitch, no. Then she runs out of the room
and
like
runs
you do.
To the little sister, or runs to the older sister.
Runs to the older sister. There's a man in my bedroom under my bed.
And of course, the sister's like, "Oh, the fuck! Really? You've been watching these scary movies again?" That's when she goes in, finds that the dog is dead under the bed, and sees the "people can lick too" thing.
Oh yeah, did you show the dog under the bed? I'm like, I remember seeing a dead dog image.
Yeah, and that's when they show the dog, and they're like, "Wah!" Yeah.
End of story.
Now this one, like I said, this is the most horrifying of them because it's the most plausible. Not that someone's going to come into bed and lick your hand under the thing, but there's been so many since this went on. So many like internet predator things where people have been catfished and murdered or attacked in crazy ways.
That's the part that I'm saying. The part that's real is the catfishing part, or these, now it's, these people in Roblox, these people doing these things, they're disguised as kids, or they're just there as whatever, but they're talking to kids and they're trying to get them to leave their house or trying to meet up with them and shit like that. That's the part that's the realistic part. Obviously not the part where they're under the bed.
Yeah, that's the creepy part because...
Oh, and he was going to town. He was just licking that hand. Ugh.
I'm sure that girl loved filming that scene.
No, I'm sure she did not. And I wonder if she ever did a convention, like, would anyone ever ask her, like, so, what was that like?
Well, it's like having that guy lick your hand 45 times.
Did you get a rash? Now, this last, the locket is the last story. And in all anthologies.
And this one stars Glenn Quinn, who you'll remember from Roseanne and from Angel, who he passed away from a drug overdose not too long after this, because Angel and everything had been on, I guess, maybe a little bit. He had been on that, but it wasn't too long, maybe a couple of years until he passed away after this. And
not to speak ill of the dead, but this is a story that I do not care about.
Yeah, this is all anthologies have got. I know they've got some okay ones, some really great ones, and then one you're like, you could have left that out. This one you could have left out.
Yeah. Or it could be like Tales of Halloween, where there's 27 stories, but there's only one good one.
Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth! Yes!
That's the one I wanted more of, yeah.
Such a great story. Why didn't Art gets its own, obviously he's not in that, but Art gets its own, Art the Clown gets its own movie, but Sweet Tooth doesn't get his own?
Yeah, he did that. Did another movie I really liked called The Hills Run Red.
Oh, I've seen that.
I don't think you have. Because I've shown it to you and you said I haven't seen that.
Oh, but I did. But you just confirmed that I did see it because you showed it to me.
No, I'm saying I showed you the movie.
I was gonna say, boom, lawyered.
No, I'm saying I showed you the name of the movie and like the trailer for it.
Maybe I'm thinking of The Hills Have Eyes.
Probably, yes.
The remake.
Yes.
Which was very good.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good.
And we're back. I am now a ghost because something fell in our closet and scared the shit out of me just as I was discussing The Hills Have Eyes.
It also doesn't help that right now we're in the middle of a huge thunderstorm. It's been going on all day. The kind of thunder that you hear in horror movies and that. So yeah, it's been a creepy day, and then something just mysteriously falls in the closet while no one's around. And at the same time that happened, the pressure change caused the bedroom door to pop open. Like someone was going to be there standing. So a little creepy moment in a podcast for us. That's always fun. Get the old adrenaline going, wake us up.
Oh, I'm awake.
We're talking about our least favorite segment here, the locket.
The locket. And like I said, it has nothing to do with the acting from the people involved. And then I'm like, there is also, spoiler alert, there is always a ghost story one.
Yeah.
So this is that. This was giving me like
Tales from the Dark Side vibes.
Yes.
This is a Tales from the Dark Side episode that would have happened in 20 minutes and just been a random, story that goes on. And it's the standard, like the girl's there in the house alone. She is trying to talk to the guy and tell him like that she wants to leave, but her dad or husband, someone's abusive to her.
Yeah, well, she's mute.
Yeah. Sometimes. Oh, that's right. No, she couldn't talk because I was thinking that she does talk later on the thing, but you find out why she's mute later.
Yes.
Yeah, and she's played by Jacinda Barrett, who would go on to also be in the following with the actress from the earlier segment. She is also in Suits, Poseidon. She was in a lot of things. And
this is a time loop one. You come to find out it's one of those where it's such a horrendous incident. The house has that kind of like a curse where...
Grudged?
Wow. Yeah. At a certain point, let's say 3:06 a.m., some crazy shit's going to ensue where the ghost is trapped in this time loop and has to reenact the horrendous death that befell them. And that's what's happening here. And he, for some reason, well, I guess he kind of like break the cycle.
Yeah. He breaks the cycle, gets her out, and then you discover, surprise.
This was very much so, the girl with the green ribbon, right? I think that's pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it's the girl with the green ribbon, except that's when they just made the ribbon red.
Yeah.
And literally, as they're talking the next morning and the sun comes up and she's like, goodbye, and her head just falls off because...
In his lap.
And because obviously, she had been beheaded, that's why she didn't talk, because the vocal cords had been cut. Best
introduction to horror for children in a dark room and other scary stories. The girl with the green ribbon. Best story ever. That is definitely what's going on here with that ending. The ending is perfect.
Yeah.
But getting to it is kind of like,
It's a little bit of a slog.
It's fine.
I've seen other things. I've seen Valerie on the Stairs was kind of like this in Masters of Horror. There's another horror movie that has a segment like this where I can't think of the name of that one. We may have covered it where downstairs she's very old, upstairs she's very young.
Oh, yes.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know, but I can't pinpoint the exact name of the film.
Yeah, but that one, there's one like that where it's like the upstairs is when, she's really she's super young and attractive. Downstairs she's the old crone, but in order to leave with her, he can't, yeah. You've seen this kind of story a dozen times in Tales from the Crypt, Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah, it's a good old-fashioned ghost story.
Yep.
Tale as old as time.
Speaking of ghost stories, this is where we cut back to our campers. And the police are here. Now, if you've ever seen a horror movie ever, you probably know where this is going.
Now, I will say, the entire time, in between segments, there's discussions about their friendships, and people are annoyed with one another for whatever, and there's blaming going on, because, of course, there's some, anger residing because of the guy was drinking, and whatever, and then several of the characters are freezing, they're all wearing... For the most part, I believe they're all wearing jackets, just jacket, not a parka.
They get a blanket from the car. They're all huddled on the blanket in front of the fire.
Yeah, so they're all very cold, and then they start to see the Cliff sees something, some kind of light or whatever, which is the police lights or whatever, and he goes and is running towards it, and then, alas, you come to find out. They all did. They got into a terrible car accident, obviously DUI, drunk driving. And Cliff is trying to be revived.
They're trying to bring him back.
And they're putting the lights in his eyes.
They're shocking him.
Yeah.
And you see people from the stories, like the mom and dad from the People Can Lick story are there as the paramedics. The honeymooning couple are there, in their RV, and they're they just came out of nowhere and almost hit us and swerved off the road.
Yeah, everyone's there. What's-his-face? Glenn guy's there.
Yeah, Glenn, he's one of the paramedics, too. There's all these different people that you've seen throughout it. They're oh, okay, he was making up this story as he was dying, which is similar to so many other, Jacob's Ladder, Soul Survivors, all these ones where, people are being revived at the end, and that's a surprise. Although, like I said, if you've seen more than one horror movie in your life, it's pretty obvious from the beginning what's going to go on here.
I said when I watched it, now, when I first saw this as a teenager, I had not seen this film, but obviously since then, 1972's Tales from the Crypt.
Yeah.
Which has everyone in the crypt, and they're all supposedly telling stories of what would have happened to them, but surprise, they're actually telling stories of how they all died. And then reveal they're all dead and they're waiting to go into hell.
Yeah.
And they're falling into the depths of hell.
Tales from the Hood is like this. You find out surprise, they all died at the end, and surprise, we're taking you to hell.
So surprise, it was not a surprise because it's been done too many
a lot of times. I think the only one that really got me was Jacob's Ladder. I didn't see that one coming.
I erased that movie from my mind.
Because it was so horrifying, or because you thought it was so bad?
No, because I saw that probably at a young age, and the imagery was very creepy.
That's an intense one.
It was a lot. I couldn't. I can never see. I can never go back to watch that movie because it was too much for me. I'm still haven't gone over it, and it's been like over 30 years. So yeah, which is your favorite tale? The wraparound, even though you get to the point, this is a great starter. Well, I wouldn't say starter horror. I would say like if you're like 15 or 16 years old and you've never seen a horror movie before, this is a way to ease into a horror film.
This is like 13 to 14-year-old horror.
I would not say
it's a little bit like, oh no, this is kind of risque. There's sex happening in this.
No, not 13 to 14 horror. Definitely not. You have to wait. There's boobs. He's getting her from behind. It's too much. It's too graphic.
They got to be introduced to this sometime.
No, I understand. Like obviously, me growing up with like the Monster Squad, which I love. Okay, but going back and watching it, it's just like, oh yeah, it's a movie of its time, and I have no issue with it because it is of its time, and that's how life was. It's a peek into how life was. Okay, but I'm not going to show it to my 7-year-old. She's going to have to wait until she's at least like 12-ish to watch that film. And there's nothing really, there's some things here and there, like them looking at the girl getting undressed with the binoculars. There's things here and there. This movie, The Campfire Tales, no, 15, 16, that's when I saw it. So around that age, okay? That's what we're saying. So I don't want any letters. I don't want, you told my 12-year-old to watch this movie and people are having crazy sex in the trailer. What's your favorite tale out of...
The People Can Lick.
Yeah, that one's the...
People Can Lick, and then the initial story, like the black and white one with the, the hook hand killer. That one's good just because I like the way they shot it and everything. It looks really good. Those two are my favorites. Then obviously the others they're all pretty good, but like I said, the Lock is the least favorite.
The Lock is the favorite. If I had to rank the stories, it's gonna be People Can Lick is number 1. Then I have the Hook is number 2, and then the wraparound. I'm not gonna include the wraparound. Hook is number 2, and then The Honeymoon and the Locket. Okay. Definitely.
Now, the end of this movie ends with a cover version of the Monster Mash.
Oh, yes.
Which I don't think I've ever heard another cover of Monster Mash.
No, I'm trying to, I'm racking my brain and
I don't think of another cover. Now, the cover was from a female band called Bobsled. And apparently this version isn't available anywhere except in this movie, and the band already broke up by the time the movie came out. So...
It's a lost
cover version of Monster Mash, but it's not bad.
No, it's not bad. I think it's pretty good.
But yeah, so that's kind of a weird trivia about this one, that it's one of those lost songs that you'll never find anywhere else.
Yeah, we gotta find it. I feel like
I'll see if we can find it, and we'll post a clip of it.
We gotta. And also, what a weird random song to have at the end of this film. Yeah. It's like, because the shot is like I call it the eagle view, where it's like raising up and it's still hovering over the scene, and you see all the dead bodies, you see, Cliff and the gurney, people are running around, like the paramedics and stuff, and you're seeing all this happening while and then you get the mesh. Hit the moss. And you're like, what? That's not the song that I feel like I would have chosen for the end.
Yeah, it's a little weird. But, whatever. It worked.
Yeah, I mean, we got a cool Monster Mash.
We got a Monster Mash.
That no one heard.
Yeah, no one heard but us, apparently. And a few people that have seen this.
Now, this is I want to say this is the last film that we're going to cover that's part of our summer series. We've done some summer films, since the summer is ending, and woo, we're going into autumn, or faux autumn, since we don't really have seasons here, but okay. So yeah, and let me tell you, there are so many movies coming out We got Together came out last week. Then you have Weapons coming out. Then you have Hell House LLC Lineage coming out. I mean,
there's another one coming out that I haven't heard of that's coming out on the 14th or 15th called Jimmy and Stiggs.
Okay.
It's a horror movie. It's done by those guys. I think they did that one we didn't like very much, Bit, but I also think they did that one about the evil Santa Claus robot.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember the name of that one, but it was that one was pretty good.
Then coming up in the fall, we have, I don't know when Shelby Oaks is coming out. I feel like that's coming out, which I just found out that Mike Flanagan produced this film, which is Chris Stuckman from YouTube, his film.
Christmas Bloody Christmas was the name of that one.
Oh, yes.
With the Killer Santa robot. That one was pretty good.
Yeah, I did like it.
It wasn't Bit was the name of it. Bliss was the name of that one. Bit was the one we liked.
And then the one I'm really looking forward to, which is Osgood's next feature, Keeper.
Yeah, what the hell is that one even about? Do we know?
It's about a couple that are in a cabin and they get into, I guess, some kind of dispute, and he leaves and she stays in the cabin, and the cabin secrets come about, and she discovers, the fucked up shit that's happened in that cabin, and then who knows where that's gonna go. You never know where what's gonna happen. But yeah, I'm definitely, when I saw the monkey, it was a random, after the credits, a random teaser, which is bothering me now, because now for probably the last week or so, they're like, oh, Keeper, the teaser for Keeper, and it's the same one I already saw, and I'm like, guys, you missed a boat on that. That's because I guess the monkey came out recently, probably on Blu-ray.
Probably on Blu-ray and DVD and stuff like that. I think it just did.
So now everyone's talking about it, and then, yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that, and that's coming out soon. So yeah, we have some movies that are going to be coming out that we're really excited about, and I'm sure in between that there's going to be a shit ton more.
Yeah,
of films that are coming.
So we'll have a mix coming up of some new movies we're covering, and our usual older ones or weird ones that we find here and there.
Yeah. Oh, and I believe starting this weekend, Popcorn Frights is starting their film festival. So if you happen to be down in South Florida, check them out. Your schedule at popcornfrights.com.
We'll post a link to that as well.
So thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Jump Scare the Horror Podcast. Stay tuned to the horror.